My name's Phil Simpson and I am from Defend Wirral's Green and Open Spaces, Stop Hoylake Golf Resorts Action Group and the Greasby Greenbelt Action Group. And we're out here today in lovely Staunton, which is a local village, to talk about defending Wirral's green spaces, greenbelt and fields and farms. Many of you probably may not know, but our council want to build on many areas of the Wirral. Virtually all the greenbelt is under threat.
Good morning. I'm the Planning and Footpath Officer of the local Amenity Society, IPPAS. A retired architect, I've been working with others to show Wirral Council that its approach to sacrifice precious greenbelt like this in pursuit of higher council tax receipts is fundamentally flawed and based on hugely inflated figures, which suggest a staggering population increase of over 20,000 people. Now, colleagues are exposing this nonsense, but I'm here today going to talk about this wonderful greenbelt, needlessly put at risk by our council. This site used to be hailed by council officers as important in terms of the identity and attraction of this historic rural village of Irby, but also as an outstanding example of the very essence of Wirral and why people want to live on it and visit the peninsula. With its public footpaths and breathtaking views across this iconic, from this iconic ancient tree across open farmland, from Irby right down to the estuary and across to the Welsh hills, with glorious sunsets, this site was valued. Now it is just SP059E. Shamefully, the council are considering it for development, and together we must save it. Now, related most highly in the IPPAS appraisal of 40 greenbelt sites in and around Irby and Pensby, this site was deemed ineligible for development by the council's own consultants. Further reasons for excluding this site are its historic setting. Irby Hall is a listed building on a moated ancient monument site, classed as the best in the northwest. Further along are the remains of the Roman well called Londymere. This is high quality farmland, vital for our food production in the future. Biodiversity, protected and endangered species of owls, bats, hedgehogs, foxes, and even great crested newts, and more. Birds, these are foraging grounds for wading, migrating, and other species of birds. Over there we have Backford Pond, classed even by the council as to be protected. And there, as you can see here, there are walks, start and finish, well-known walks across this part of Wirral, and other qualities which the council choose to disregard.
Welcome to Lever Causeway. As you can see, it's a beautiful tree-lined road with vast open fields either side, with a lovely feeling of open spaces. We have Bevington at one end and we have Staunton Village at the other end, and there's a fantastic view of the Welsh hills in the distance. People use this area for various recreational facilities. They walk the dogs, they cycle, they ride the horses, they jog, and you also see families just generally chilling out, strolling along the road, taking in the fresh air and the nice open spaces, and just generally winding down. All these activities, research has proven, is beneficial for health and for mental well-being. However, in the local plan, this area is earmarked for over 2,200 houses, So instead of it being a nice open area to come out and take some fresh air, it could end up being a large sprawling housing estate. Now if you'd like to come over here, we'll have a look at this field. This field is used for growing food. As climate change affects us more and more, food production is becoming vital. We've been told that the soil is good grade 2 agricultural land, and there is currently wheat growing in this field. There's a 4-year rotation of crops. Peas, rapeseed, field beans and barley have also been grown here in the past. However, Wirral Council have described this field as being used for horse grazing, and as you can see, there's not a horse in sight, and the field is planted with crops. We've tried to get the council to correct this description, but we've not yet managed to get them to do this. We wonder why.
SP 060 south of Thingwall Road is how the council label this beautiful site, arguing that development would just be infill of a single suburban community. How wrong and out of touch they are. There are in fact 3 very different communities separated by this site, up to a mile apart, with quite different characters, from semi-rural Irby to the much larger suburbia of Pensby. This site is also far too large to be considered as infill, and the proposed joining of distinct communities into a massive urban sprawl conflicts fundamentally with national planning policy and the legally binding 5 purposes of Greenbelt. Any proper assessment, which the council admits it has not undertaken, would exclude this site from consideration and have it protected. In fact, smaller sites within this vast area of farmland, as originally was considered by the council, were all deemed ineligible for development by the council's own consultants. But desperate to find development sites to suit their political masters, they expanded it until eventually it met housing. Nearly a mile across, 125 acres, the size of 80 football pitches, enough for 1,500 houses. This site is clearly open countryside. Further reasons for excluding this site: protected and endangered species, owls, bats, large to tiny creatures in and around the ancient woodland of Harrop Wood and Arrow Brook, owned by the National Trust and classified as vulnerable to destruction, flooding, pollution, to be protected. Its historic setting, it includes a fine, rare, well-preserved example of medieval farming practice in its ground formation, and also various remains of the original settlement of Irby. Here we have high quality farmland, vital for our future food production. As you can see, there are footpaths here crisscrossing this site, promoting health and well-being. And this whole space is a green lung and wildlife corridor. This site is a vital link in the chain of green spaces across Wirral for wildlife movement and fresh air for its people. There are other qualities which the council choose to disregard. Thank you.
Hello! We're at the edge of the Greenbelt in Poulton Lancelin in Clatterbridge Ward. We're just south of Junction 4 of the M53. We've got a mixture here of good quality farmland, ancient woodlands, hedges, popular footpaths and small meres. And to the west, just behind me, there are open unspoiled views to the Welsh Hills, which you can see. It's beautiful land. The draft local plan shows several similar Greenbelt parcels listed for release in this Clatterbridge area. These parcels stretch along the corridor east of the M53 from Staunton through Brackenwood and Poulton to Raby Mere and beyond. There are several good reasons why this land should not be developed for housing, but I think 4 are critical. It's to local residents and to the wider community. 1, the impact of traffic congestion and the impact on local services. 2, the serious negative health impact the serious negative health impacts on residents of building houses next to the M53. 3, the loss of high quality farmland and important natural habitats here. And 4, the loss of major heritage sites of national importance. We now have confirmation that the Great Battle of Brunanburh happened here in Clatterbridge Ward.
Hello, my name is Jane Chesters. I live in Rigby Drive and I love Greasby. The main purpose of the Greenbelt policy is to protect designated land around large urban centres from urban sprawl, as well as maintaining the areas of forestry and agriculture, also providing a habitat for wildlife. It stops increased use of cars, also stops the neglect of brown land sites and dilapidated buildings. Greenbelt also includes significant local biodiversity, the variety of plants and animal life, which is of massive importance. It also protects heritage sites. Its trees, plants and open spaces soak up our carbon emissions, as well as providing recreational space. Without Greenbelt, our villages and towns would merge, thus losing all identity. These are not just fine words. Along with plastic, this is one of the biggest threats to our planet, and it's down to us. We ignore it at our peril. 2/3 of our green belt is agricultural land and is being depleted at an alarming rate. Greenhouse Farm, Greasby. John and Joy Appleby are its second generation of Appleby tenants, the farm having been passed on to them in 2004 from John's parents, Roger and Joan, who originally took on the farm in 1961. From then, Farmer Horrocks. Indeed, some people still refer to the coppice as Horrocks Wood. A person who spoke at the meeting at the Greasby Community Centre on the 1st of September works with people who are homeless and have poor housing in Birkenhead. They say the type of housing they are proposing to build on the Green Belt will be far too expensive for the people who need them. Also, everyone at the meeting on a show of hands said a resounding no to the use of any green belt on Wirral. Yet, at council meetings, councillors are still voting to use green belt. During the forthcoming elections, your vote will count. Please, please, all who watch this video, vote for change. We must save our green belt. The only way to do this is to vote for change. Thank you.
Much of our green belt and open spaces has already disappeared under miles of concrete, motorways, highways and byways. Most recently, a sizable chunk of our green belt has disappeared under the new fire station at Solgall Massey. It stands out like a carbuncle upon the landscape, and the leader of our council wants to continue to destroy what remains of our green belt by allowing it to be brutalised, destroyed and buried under concrete so as to facilitate the building of yet another golf course in Hoylake.
Right, here we are, a lovely sunny day, beginning of May. The golf course is empty. People just aren't playing golf anymore. I play all round the golf courses in the Wirral, a lot, 1-2 days a week, and there's just no one. You just turn up, go straight on. They've reduced the fees already. They're all losing money as far as I know. Even the private courses, to be fair, they're not doing very well. They're offering £12 a round for playing golf on the private courses. It used to be 30, 40, 10 years ago. Now, way down. The other problem is, to an extent, the access to this golf course in particular is via a very narrow lane, pump lane. The traffic now is bad, particularly at the rush hour. If they had more houses, if they had hotels, it'd be gridlocked. They're going to have to have a complete new road system in before they build the golf course.
New roads leading to and from the complex would lead to the inevitable build-up of traffic. Areas already suffering from traffic congestion and air pollution. Further, he wants to borrow 26 million for the project. Hundreds of thousands of pounds has already been spent on viability studies for this project. The proposed site for the golf course and the housing project covers an area of approximately 280 acres. It is prone to flooding, and in 2002 and 2007 the entire area was covered in water. It was possible to row a canoe right across the flooded plain. The pylons you see there will have to be buried beneath the ground, and it will cost millions of pounds to do so. What a waste. It would lead to a civic environmental vandalism of unprecedented proportions. I do not believe that the majority of our councillors wants this white elephant built on their watch. They know, as we all know, the devastating effects toxic pollution is having upon the health and well-being of the people living in cities, urban areas, alongside motorways and highways. We are reminded again and again of its devastating effects. NHS England stated that 55,000 deaths were caused in 2017 due to the effects of toxic air pollution. Toxic air pollution can have devastating effects upon the unborn child. How do we begin to address this man-made human tragedy? Well, we can begin, for starters, by protecting what is left of our green and open spaces. We can begin by protecting our trees, our fields and our hedgerows. Trees, we know, lock in CO2, which is the biggest driver of global warming. And by the magic process of photosynthesis, trees make oxygen, without which we all die. We can begin to address this problem by planting saplings native to our countryside. Remember, it takes 15 saplings to replace one mature tree. So instead of a superfluous golf course for the very rich, let's begin by planting trees when and where we can. And let's cherish what's left of our countryside, for our children, for this generation and for future generations.
We have now come to the end of this video. Hopefully we have shown you all or certainly a lot of the areas on Wirral which are going to be built on, which our council proposed to build on. We must save our green belt. This could be our last chance. We are not going to get any more chances, and the last chance comes at the local elections in May, on May the 2nd. We must vote for change, and we must rid those who want to take away our open spaces. We must rid them from our council. If we vote for the same old, we will carry on getting the same old. It is time for change. Please read our literature that we have posted through many doors. If we haven't posted through your doors, then you can contact us on the details at the end of the film. All the information's there, the petition sites are there, and for further information there's contact numbers and details for that too. But before you cast your vote, remember, it is what we have now that invites the greedy developers. It's those developers don't want to build houses for need. They want to build luxury houses for massive profit and greed. We can accommodate our housing needs on brownfield sites. We do not need to use any, and I mean any, of the Greenbelt land. The Stop the Hoylake Golf Resort Action Group and Defend Wirral's Green and Open Spaces and the Greasby Greenbelt Action Group are not against golf, and we are not against building homes, but they must be the right homes in the right places, and they must be built for need and not for greed. I'd just like to finish by saying thank you for watching this video. Please read our literature, don't listen to the lies. We must force change at the local elections on May the 2nd. Please, please, it's imperative, it's important. Please come out and vote. Do not sit there thinking and leave it for others and thinking that it's the same old all the time. It will be the same old unless you come out to vote. You must come out and vote on the 2nd of May and vote for change. Thank you very much for watching this video.
Let's end with a piece from the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, which actually records the battle. King Athelstan, lord of warriors, patron of heroes, and his brother too, Prince Edmund, won on that day eternal glory in battle with the edges of their swords. Round Brunanburh they broke the Viking shield wall. These sons of Edward, with their well-forged swords, fought for their land, its treasures and its homes. And surely we can do the same.